Ahoy!
We're excited.
I know.
Welcome to the season 2 finale of Bottom of the Stream. We got it. We made it. We got there.
You got here with us. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us through this 2 seasons.
Amazing.
Nearly a full year.
I know.
4 weeks. We'll be doing it a full year.
When will our birthday be? April Fool's Day.
April Fool's Day. April the 1st. Which is a Wednesday. So we'll maybe do something. I'm just thinking on the fly. I probably shouldn't have said that. We'll do something for
We might have to scratch this whole thing because I've not worked out when this actually comes out.
Oh, yeah. It doesn't come out then. The first week of season 3 will be the anniversary week.
Okay. Still need to scratch this
Look at us planning on the fly. I'm not cutting it out. That's
okay, fine.
That's fine. These guys don't mind. As we said last week, we're recording this literally straight after we recorded last week's episode. So I'm not going to ask you how you are because I already know.
Good.
I've just eaten
at
McDonald's.
You're not going to ask me. Sorry.
Just eaten at McDonald's, so I'm all full of processed beef and milkshake.
I didn't have a milkshake.
I love milkshakes. I can't believe that you don't like milkshakes.
No.
How long have we known each other? Over 20 odd years.
Yep.
Too many years to mention. I didn't know you didn't like milkshakes.
No, I don't.
I've learned something new about you tonight. Crazy. Still learning.
I'd like to surprise you.
So, because of that, we haven't got any news or anything that we've watched because we haven't watched anything in the last 20 minutes.
Well, we have got some news.
We have got some.
The most important news.
The most important news. So what we thought we'd do, instead of giving you Netflix news or what we've watched on Netflix, we thought we'd run through the categories of the Botscas, which will be coming next week.
They will.
After this week. Sorry, it's all confusing. When you record in advance, it gets confusing.
That's time for you.
The Botscas are going to be our first of our annual award ceremony, where the 50 films that we've watched, because we've now watched 50 films as of the end of this episode,
Yep.
are eligible to be nominated in these categories.
Yeah, anything from season 1 or season 2.
Yep. And we're going to do an award show next week.
We are.
So
It's going to be full of surprises and fun times.
I've hired a tux. Have you hired a tux?
Only the top half because we're sitting at a desk.
That's true. I don't need to see the bottom half.
Not gone for the trousers or shoes.
I've hired a really nice ball gown as well. I've just not decided which one to wear yet. So, so the categories. Do you want to run through them?
Sure.
Should we take it in turns?
Let's do it.
So, you go first.
Okay. So we will go first with a category suggested by one of our patrons, Ross
Yes.
Cook.
Yep.
And that is most misleading trailer.
Yes. So, we will be given an award for the film with the most misleading trailer.
Because there's been a few of them.
There has been quite a few of them. It's very true.
And we will. We're not going to go through the nominations now.
No, we will reveal
save
the
that for the
nominations
show.
on the night. Or on the show.
And along with the winners.
Yes. What does this mean?
Most batshit
okay,
crazy
yeah,
film.
got it. So the next award after that is the most batshit crazy film. So this is going to be a film that's batshit crazy. That's one of our catchphrases, or my catchphrase on the show.
Yeah.
Because everything we watch is batshit
What have we
crazy.
seen that's just been bonkers?
Yeah, and which is the most bonkers?
And did it make sense? Maybe.
Maybe
Or
not.
was it? Yeah. Again, not a shortage of contenders for this one.
No, not at all. After that,
The Drowning in the Stream Award.
now that's an interesting name for an award. What does that mean?
So we are going to give this to an actor or actress who we think is basically slumming it at the
Yeah.
bottom of the street.
When they shouldn't be.
Who's
We've seen quite a few.
Yeah, we've had Oscar winners,
We've had Oscar winners. We've had
very famous people.
Golden Globe winners, BAFTA winners.
What the hell have you turned up in some of these films for?
Yeah, so we'll point out the best one of them for you. Closely followed by Best Deaf.
Oh.
I think that says it all.
Yep.
Which film has had the best death scene?
I can think of quite a few.
Yeah, we've had some good death scenes.
Then we have got Best Non-Human.
Yep, says it all. Robot, dog,
Who knows?
who knows? Could be anything. It's an award for something that is not human. Following that, we're going to have an award for Worst Performance by a actor/actress.
Yep.
We're not having actor/actress awards, are we? We're grouping our
Worst
people
performance.
into non-gender roles.
Cool. Yeah, they're all
Like it
actors.
should be in 2020. So, worst performance is going to be a category. I can think of lots of them. I don't know how we're going to narrow that down.
Well, so I think what we're going to do with this show is we'll obviously go through the nominations. We'll talk a little bit about them.
Yeah.
And we don't know who's going to win.
No, we still haven't picked the winner.
We are just going to kind of debate that live, aren't we?
Yeah.
And agree.
Hopefully agree.
Or
We agree
not.
on the stream table quite often, so it's going to be. There might be some arguments. There might be some fisticuffs.
There might be.
Be interesting.
And we will award accordingly.
Yes.
Should be interesting.
Okay. What's the next one?
The next one is most memorable moment.
No. There's been a lot of memorable moments.
Sure.
So that should be a good one. Then you get to what would probably say the top 3 awards. Best performance would be next. So obviously that's the opposite of worst performance. We think has deservedly given the best performance in the films that we've watched out of the top 50.
Yeah. And then the 2 big ones.
Yep.
Biggest waste of time.
The film so these 2, because obviously the other one is we've called it Hiddenest Gem because we're on here looking for hidden gems, aren't we? These 2 are obviously, because we do the stream table every week, it should be obvious what's going to win, but it's not.
No, not at all.
It isn't necessary. Just because the film appears at the bottom of the stream table doesn't make it the worst film. It's just what we thought at the time.
Yeah, equally.
And what's at the top.
The biggest waste of time may not necessarily be the worst film.
Yeah. It just might be a complete waste of time watching it.
I've said a couple of times, we've seen films that I did not enjoy, I found boring, but I wouldn't say it's the worst film.
Yeah.
Equally, I've seen some terrible films that actually were so bad they were quite entertaining.
Yeah, definitely. There's a difference between best and favourite, isn't there?
Yeah, sure.
I know for a fact that I've got a favourite film in my mind out of the 50 that we've watched, but it also is not at number 1 of either stream table.
Yeah.
There's a bit of a sneak peek for you.
Ooh.
So it could be anything. Anything could win them. We will be here next week for the Botscars ceremony, and we will reveal the winners of all of those categories.
Yeah, we'll send some stuff out on the socials as well. So our resident artist Ross has designed an award.
He has. It's really cool. So that will go out there.
As you'd expect, a fantastic piece of work.
Oh, we didn't mention as well, we're going to start Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah.
So that'll be on there as well. So somebody will be inducted into the bottom of the stream Hall of Fame.
We will not be nominating people. We will, and I will select decide. A person or persons.
Yeah, I think, are we going to do more than one?
We've not had this discussion.
We haven't. We should have that discussion.
I have a couple of ideas. I'm sure you have a couple of ideas.
Okay, so we'll discuss that, and then
what we need to do though, if we're opening a bottom of the stream Hall of Fame, is you need to clear some room on one of these walls, and on the boat, and we'll get some frames up of the entrance.
I can do that. They could go up there, look, above the pop vinyls.
Sure,
I'll do that. I'm gonna have to
good. You've said it, people. So you must now do this. I am delighted.
Yeah, so we're looking forward to doing it, aren't we? We've been planning it since like the very beginning of the podcast.
I accidentally, I just kind of had that idea, like after we'd done about 2 episodes.
Yeah, so it's been in our heads for a long time, and now it's here next week. So I'm really looking forward to recording that one, and I'm looking forward to getting it out there.
Yeah,
cool.
We've got who came and did the monologue at the Oscars last month.
Oh,
was it Steve Martin?
Yeah,
and Chris Rock.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, they're not coming. They're busy.
I wonder if we could get somebody.
Oh, listen in next week.
See if we can get somebody to do an opening monologue.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll see what I can do. I can't promise. That might be a bit short notice, but I'll see what I can do. Or maybe we can do our own.
Yeah, fine.
Who knows? Anyway, we're planning on the fly. We've been planning for a year. We're planning on the fly.
This is another one of those conversations we should have had before we started recording.
Yeah, these guys are all friends. Yeah. They know what we're talking about by now. Right, should we probably... Oh, I'm going to run through the socials.
Yeah, do that.
So... follow us on Twitter for updates on the Botscars and anything else we do. It is at BOTS_podcast. Instagram is the same. Obviously, you'll be able to see the award that we're going to give out on Instagram. That will go up soon. Facebook.com/bottom of the stream. The website is www.bottomofthestream.com. And Patreon. Patreon.com/bottom of the stream. So Patreon is where you can give us a little bit of money each month, and we will give you some merch and some little benefits and some hidden episodes, and just treat you like friends, basically.
Which you all are.
Absolutely.
If you can't do that, then please give us a review or a rating and a rating on Apple Podcasts or on Podchaser, because it helps the algorithms. And it
helps the what?
Algorithms. And it puts us in the ears of more people.
It does, and it's always better when there's more of us.
And that's about it.
Yeah, that's it, I think. Do you want to go straight into talking about this film?
Yeah, I do. I can't remember if we said our names.
I'm Adam.
I'm Nick.
There, we have now.
Let's crack on.
Let's crack on. So, this week we watched a film called, we're calling it 211, because that's mentioned in the film, but it looks like it's called 211, because there's no dash in there.
Well, I was going to point this out. So definitely in the title, on the poster, and on everything on Netflix, there is no dash.
No.
So it looks like
211.
211.
211.
Yeah.
Should we call it that?
But there's definitely a point in this film because it's a code for a police.
Yeah, it's a cop
incident,
I
isn't
presume it's a code for a bank robbery. But
Yeah,
Cage says it, doesn't he, at one point?
he says we've
211.
got a 211 in progress.
Yeah. So we call
That
it
is what it's called.
Yeah. But
That's not what it's called.
no, it's called 211. So this week we watched a film called 211. It is from 2018. It is a 15, runs for an hour and 27 minutes, and is currently rated at 4.4 on IMDb.
Yeah.
It's low down for this season. As you might have noticed, it stars a gentleman called Nicolas Cage, who needs no introduction, I don't think. I think everybody
He
knows
does
who
not.
Nick Cage is. He isn't the first time he's appeared on our show. We reviewed one of his films in the last season. It might become a tradition that he has to be in every season. I don't know.
We'll
But,
see.
there's definitely a few more films on the list,
Yeah.
on the long list. So.
I mean, throw a fucking dart on Netflix, you're going to hit a Nicolas Cage film, and not a good one. Well, none of his big ones are on there,
No,
right?
none of his big ones are on there. He plays a character called Mike Chandler. This film also stars Sophie Skelton, who plays a character called Lisa McAvoy. She's a British actress.
Oh, I did not know that.
She is. And she hasn't been in a lot of stuff, but she's currently in Outlander.
I've
heard Outlander?
heard of it.
It's
yeah.
it's an Amazon show. And it's currently in its 5th season.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so she's in that. And also stars a guy called Michael Rainey Jr., who plays a character called Kenny. And he is in a TV show called Power, which is on Stars in America, and I think is on Amazon over here as well.
Not familiar with that.
I don't really know it either, but he's also in 7 episodes of Orange is the New Black.
Okay.
Now, did you notice anything quirky about the writing credits in this film?
Don't think so.
It struck me as a bit odd, and I didn't look it up, but I'll read out what it says.
Okay.
So this film's directed
I think I might have clicked. Sorry, carry on.
This film's directed by a guy called York Alec Shackleton.
Yeah.
And it says in the writing credits, based on a screenplay by York Alec Shackleton. But then it says, screenplay by John Rebus. So York Alec Shackleton has written a screenplay.
Yep.
John Rebus has rewritten it. And then York Alec Shackleton has gone out and directed this film.
But they've not got a credit as both written by it.
So Shackleton's
come up with the idea.
Rebus has written it. It's based on a screenplay by him. Rebus has then gone and rewritten it. And Shackleton's got the job of directing something that he wasn't good enough to write.
Sounds fishy.
It made me laugh. I thought it was quite weird. You won't know York Alec Shackleton, I don't think. But he has released a film in January of this year
Okay.
that is currently rated as the lowest film in 2020 ever in the world. It's currently rated at 3.0.
Tell
on
me
IMDb.
more. What is this film?
Yeah, I've written everything down except for what it's called. Bear with.
You surely expected that follow-up question.
I don't know why I didn't. All right, the film is called Disturbing the Peace.
Okay.
It's currently rated at 3.0 on IMDb and stars Guy Pearce.
Oh, how the mighty have fallen.
Do you want to know the synopsis of it?
I do.
A small-town marshal who hasn't carried a gun since he left the Texas Rangers after a tragic shooting must pick up his gun again to battle a gang of outlaw bikers that has invaded the town to pull off a brazen and violent heist.
Right.
Now, as you know, IMDb have user reviews from people who have seen it, and this film is described by one reviewer as 0 stars, literally unwatchable.
Oh, amazing. Because that sounds fairly sort of nondescript from the synopsis.
It's another cop drama by the sounds of it. But yeah, it has the distinction at the moment of being the lowest rated film of 2020.
Let's keep an eye out for that.
Yeah, so if that appears on Netflix at any point, we will get it on the list. Shall we start talking about what happens in this film?
Yeah, so we start in Afghanistan.
We do indeed.
And there's some admin going on.
Yeah, there is.
Some exciting admin. There are a couple of suits.
Yep.
Making some bank transfers.
Yes, there are. A female and a male. Now, straight off, this lady's sitting at a laptop, which appears to only have a green screen.
Yep. It's proper from the 80s.
I love watching things like this. Like, there's a close-up on her fingers, tapping on the keys. The film, you can see there's like a progress bar on the screen going, and it is going, so there's money's transferring, but she's still typing away like crazy, even though nothing's happening on the screen, and she isn't hitting any keys. Yeah, if you look at her fingers, she's hitting the gaps between the keys.
She's playing air computer.
Air computer is so funny. Honestly, check it out. If you just watch the first 2 minutes of this film, you'll see it.
So something that struck me before we even got that far, though. So just literally as we're the we're entering this camp, as you call it, and you get Afghanistan come up on the screen.
Yeah.
The credits are rolling.
Yeah.
And instantly, the type, I don't know what it is, it just looks cheap.
Yeah, it does.
So you can tell this is small scale,
Yeah,
small budget. We're clearly not in Afghanistan.
No.
Yeah. You know, it looks cheap.
Yeah.
Straight away.
It does. Straight from the offset, it looks cheap. And then suddenly she says, oh, the money is secure. And this man's quite happy about that. So whatever they were doing, they've managed to get the money. And they get kind of bundled out of this room after that, don't they? And they get put in the back of cars. But suddenly a car bomb goes off. And there's a huge explosion.
Yeah, they're getting into this convoy, essentially, aren't they? And the convoy starts to explode.
Before they've even gone anywhere. A sniper takes out a few people.
There's attackers in them there hills.
Yeah, there really are. A sniper takes out a few. And then a rocket launcher comes out of nowhere, and that takes out another car. It's all kicking off, and like we're literally less than 5 minutes into this film, and I've written no time wasted here. And then I thought I was watching I'm going to go completely off the film here, and I've written myself a reminder to talk about this.
Okay.
I was watching this film, and suddenly there was an enormous spider in my lounge.
That's right.
To the point where it was like, normally I'm not bothered by spiders. Don't bother me in the slightest. Don't bother me at all. I wouldn't even catch one and take it out of my house. Don't bother me. This one I was like, I'm not sitting in here with that thing.
Really?
It was enormous. It was like a tarantula. So I had to pause the film and get this spider out of my house.
Humanely?
Yes, caught it in the glass and put it out.
Good boy.
But I have heard that if you put an indoor spider outside, it just dies anyway.
I have heard that before as well.
So I don't know. I did put him outside, but it wasn't
Might not have
welcome.
been an indoor spider.
Might not have been. Honestly, the only way he could have got in is by opening the door and letting himself in. He was enormous.
Maybe he posted himself to you.
I don't know why I've written that down, but it just made me laugh. So they do manage to get away in the end, don't they? And,
kind of.
Well, yeah.
They get into a vehicle
10 yards.
which drives away.
Yeah.
And then again, in my first how badly edited this film is, so you quickly notice as they speed away that there is a large digger at the perimeter of this convoy
that's moving.
A little bit.
It was being driven.
Yeah, but you're supposed to think that the digger drove into the car to intercept them.
Yeah.
I just thought it looked like they drove into the digger.
They definitely just drove straight into this digger. It wasn't like they were on a road that was cramped in. They were in the desert.
But it was like the car actually had to turn to hit the digger.
That's exactly what happened. And the car could have gone anywhere else. It wasn't on a road. It was in a desert.
Yeah.
It just turned straight into this digger and crashed into it. It was Ahmed that was driving.
It didn't make me laugh.
Yeah, they just crashed. So Ahmed's a goner because the digger goes straight through.
Yeah, he's the driver.
He's the driver.
He's a nobody, so he's gone.
It doesn't matter. But the lady manages to run away.
Yeah, she kind of crawls. Yeah, she crawls out and then sort of makes for the hills.
Yeah, but she unfortunately gets shot in the back as she's running.
So our man, who was also doing the bank transfer, he crawls out the back of the
he
vehicle
survived
as well. And standing over him are 4 basically special ops type
mercenary
guys.
type guys. And they call him Boss. So they've obviously been working for him.
And then they call him Ronnie.
Yes, because that was his name probably.
You'd imagine.
Yeah, I would have thought.
They say, Ronnie, you owe us $1 million.
Yeah, we should be dead. You owe us $1 million.
Give us our money.
Yeah.
Fucker.
And one of them shoots him in the leg, don't they? To prove a point that they're like, they're serious. They're serious, yeah. That's what I'm trying to get at.
They've got rocket launchers and stuff, but they've exploded everyone else that you were here. But just in case you weren't sure,
just in case you weren't sure we're serious. And then Ronnie says, "Well, I've got that much money, but it's everywhere. It's split over loads and loads of different bank accounts."
It's like that's what we've just been doing. Have you not watched the start of this film?
We've just been spreading money around. So he says, "I need a bit of time," and one of them just goes, "Nah," shoots him in the head.
Yeah. See you, Ron.
See you, Ronnie. And he's done.
Fade out of Afghanistan.
Yeah.
Although
we do get
we don't fade out of Afghanistan.
We don't because something really random happens.
Well, no, and this is my point.
Yeah.
Because we get another title.
Yeah.
Which says Kabul.
Yeah.
Which is still in Afghanistan.
It is. Somewhere else in Afghanistan.
I just thought it was a weird detail.
Yeah, we didn't need that. We knew we were in Afghanistan.
Yeah. It was very odd.
We're now with a lady. And she is meeting up with a guy. And they're going to swap bags in like this really mysterious way, aren't they? Like people do in Afghanistan all the time, I would imagine.
Sure. Really conspicuously in the middle of this village square.
That's it. They're right in the middle of a village, in the middle of the road. Yeah. And they're just like, we've got the same bag, we'll just swap bags.
Sure.
But before that can happen, she gets she gets arrested, doesn't she?
Yeah, and bundled into the back of
this car. But it turns out that she is a cop as well. and she works for Interpol.
Yeah, and she's been fake arrested by the US Army, who are basically just pulling her out of the field.
Yeah, because they need her to go and investigate what's just happened in this other place. So she gets taken to the scene where we've just been, where obviously the car bombs have all gone off, and she's there to try and figure out what happened. That's when it's revealed that she works for Interpol.
She's got like a really neat app on her phone, hasn't she? Yeah. So she's like standing over the dead woman, and she like face scans her with her phone, and it like gets a hit in the system.
Yeah,
and she's like, this is, I don't know, Ivana Get a Top Off from Russia. She's a really wanted criminal.
You'll notice that
she's been done for money laundering.
We're going to giggle and laugh a lot all the way through this because this film's batshit crazy.
I had a great time.
I did.
I found it
I
so entertaining.
don't want to give anything away, but it's just mental.
Yeah.
It just never stops from the very beginning and to the very end. It's constant. I was exhausted by the end of watching this.
So the woman was a money launderer / smuggler, and it turns out Ronnie was basically a war profiteer.
Yeah, that's what she calls him. Yeah, the war profiteer. And in the last few years, he had stolen 100 million monies from war zones, from
various denominations. Yeah. And then we also get the info drop that the 4 mercenaries who did all this are wanted for various murderings of army people in the area.
Straight away, she's like, I
know who did this.
I suspect it's his old team.
Yeah.
So she's like the best policeman in the world. She knows this woman. She knows this man. She knows who's killed them.
Yep.
Within like a minute of arriving on scene. Job done. Sorted.
Efficient.
Yeah. And we leave Afghanistan there. Yep. We do actually leave this time. And we
never to return.
Head over to Chesterford, Massachusetts. And it comes up on the screen 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
Unnecessarily. Because I hate when things do that. Did I tell you I went to watch The Invisible Man the other night?
You've told me off air.
I told you off air. I went to watch The Invisible Man the other night.
Oh, did you?
Which is really good.
Yeah.
But there's a scene in that, and it comes up 2 weeks later. And then instantly, he's like, what have you been doing for the last 2 weeks? So I didn't need the scene. If you're going to mention that it was 2 weeks ago, I didn't need the title card to tell me it was 2 weeks later.
Do you need it spelling out?
Apart from that, it's a really good film. Go and watch it. Yeah, and we meet Nick Cage for the first time. So he appears.
He's a cop on the beat.
He's an elderly... Not elderly,
He's not elderly. You take that back.
He's grizzled old cop.
He's a veteran.
A veteran cop called Mike Chandler. And he's driving his cop car on his own. And nothing really happens.
It's just a transition. He's driving his cop car, as you say. He's just out on the beat, and I thought he drove past the high school.
Yeah, maybe he did.
And then it kind of
cuts into the
high school.
Yeah,
and we meet a young chap called Kenny.
Yes,
and he is getting bullied. Essentially,
he's getting beat up in a toilet.
What happens when you get beat up in a toilet?
Don't know.
Get your head put in a toilet.
Wasn't in a toilet, was it? It was in a urinal.
That's still
it was not a very nice place to have your head put.
No.
But normally it would be in a toilet. But yeah, he's basically just being bullied by these guys at school, isn't he?
Yeah.
There's a bit of a commotion goes on, and he fights back a little bit.
He does, but he's quite restrained. He's like, it's obviously not the first time this has happened to him, and he's trying to de-escalate things first, isn't he? But then it comes to a point, and he turns around and he knocks the chief bully clean out.
Literally one punched him straight down, whammo. But just as he does it, obviously the teacher walks in.
Yeah.
So it looks like Kenny's the bad guy in this situation, but he isn't. Then we cut straight to. So I'm not exaggerating now. The beginning of this film is here's a character. Here's a character. Here's a character.
It is so paint by numbers because
it really is.
You get your set up in Afghanistan, and then we cut back to the States, and it's
here's your main character.
Here's Nicolas Cage. Here's Kenny.
Yeah.
Here's the next person. Here's the next person. So you get a minute with each one.
Yeah.
And then we're away.
Because I've written here, now we're in a house and a lady announces she's pregnant. The man's happy.
Yeah.
Because you've no idea who these people are.
Well,
but then
you kind of guess because there was a picture of Nicolas Cage on the side.
Yeah, you do get it, but it wasn't explained at all. It was literally like 1 minute scene.
It's Nicolas Cage's daughter.
It is. It turns out to be Nicolas Cage's daughter and his partner.
Yes.
Not his partner.
So
her husband, his cop partner. Yeah, but he's estranged from his daughter.
Yes.
So he hangs out all day with her husband, but is estranged from her.
Correct.
It's weird. Then suddenly we get introduced to an older couple, and it's their anniversary. So he's going out to work.
His name is Randy, and he is a bit randy. He is a bank manager.
He's the bank manager. So
this will be important.
we're giving you more information than we've got
Yes.
at this point. At this point, we don't know who any of these people are.
Well, he's like, oh, I'm going to work at the bank. His line is literally, I am going to work my job at the bank as the bank
And
manager.
she's like, it's our anniversary. Make sure you come home for dinner.
Yeah, and he's like, I will be back early and we can get to it.
She's really not happy that he's going. And then we go to this gun shop, and there's another man we get introduced to, but it turns out he's not important. He's just the man who opens the gun shop in the morning.
So yeah, but this device is used twice.
Yeah.
Again, here we are again. So Rossi has walked into, who's the Interpol agent.
Was that her name?
Yeah.
I've just written Interpol lady all the way
She's
through.
walked into this gun shop,
Yeah.
and she said, "You sell weapons to these mercenaries," and the guy goes, "No, I don't." And she says, "Yes, you do." And there's a picture of him
With one of the
mercenaries
above his counter.
and she's like, "Do you know this guy? His name's Trey." And he's like, "No, I don't know."
And then she
Do you know what? Do you know what that means?
What?
The guy in the gun shop.
What?
He forgot about Trey.
Oh, amazing. That's brilliant.
Thanks.
I'm giving you that.
Thank you.
I'm going to give you a round of applause. Yeah, because he's like, no, I have no idea who he is. And then she kind of just glances up and the camera follows her eye line and there's a picture of them together.
And then
holding guns.
The gun shop guy literally just goes, oh. And he writes down a load of information.
He just instantly just gives it everything she wants to know.
She is so good at her job.
She's really good. She can just get information in seconds of turning up at her scene. Then we cut to Kenny's mum, who is another character that we need to get to know.
Yeah.
Because she is not only Kenny's mum, she also works in the hospital
This will be important
as a
later.
nurse. Yeah. So, are you keeping up?
But she's with the head
She's
teacher.
with the school principal, yeah. And
And the head teacher's like, well, you know, we've got to discourage this sort of behaviour.
Yeah,
we can't have fights and violence in my school. Are we going to put him in detention?
no,
Are we going to make him do extra homework?
no,
Are we going to get him to do community service?
no,
Go and help old people cross the road?
no,
Put some plants in a nice communal garden?
no.
We're going to put him in a ride along
Yeah,
with some police officers.
Yeah.
Because that will show him the error of his ways.
no. She says it's that or expulsion. There's literally two options.
Yeah, that's it.
So he can go and sit in the back of a police car for an afternoon.
Yeah.
Or he can just not come back to school ever again.
Yeah.
His mum's not happy because I don't know if we mentioned or if we should mention, but Kenny and his mum are black, and obviously for a black kid to sit in the back of a police car is probably not the best look, and she's not happy about that. But she doesn't have any choice.
No.
She says that to the
That's
principal.
our expulsion.
She says that to the principal. I don't think this is appropriate for a black lad to sit in the back of the police car. And she's like, well, he'll be expelled then. The principal's got no sympathy. She doesn't care if he gets shot by cops or not. It's just crazy. This is where we then find out that they cut us away. I'm not exaggerating. The scenes are so short and sharp right at the beginning of this film. It's just 2 minutes at the most. So we cut again then back to the pregnant lady, and this is where we find out that she's Nicolas Cage's daughter. Her husband, Steve?
Yes.
He wants to name the baby after Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
Not
Not Nicolas Cage.
So it's not naming Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage. That'd be amazing.
That's going to happen in that film that Nicolas Cage is going to be in a few years or whatever.
He's like, maybe we should call it Mike. And,
Yeah.
and she's like, oh,
Yeah.
how dare you?
This is my dad. I don't talk to my dad.
And then she just launches into this whole, you
Yeah,
know
you get the
that
exposition.
my mum died and he's not dealt with it. She had cancer, but he didn't realise he couldn't deal with it. And until she
wouldn't accept
died, he
it.
didn't accept it was even happening. And it's literally just, this exposition is just blurted out as dialogue.
Yeah.
And I thought it was brilliant. It's terrible. It is awful, but it was brilliant.
Yeah, I completely agree. She just babbles it for 10 minutes in an argument. Well, not 10 minutes, but like 2 minutes probably.
Oh, and suddenly we're like, I had a quick look. There's only an hour left in this film.
Yeah, it's
Nicolas Cage has been in it for 30 seconds.
Nothing happens in the first. Well, stuff happens, but
It's
the
all
first
just
half an hour
set
is
in
just
the-
introducing you to all your characters because there's a lot of characters.
And now
in
we've
this
only
film.
got a TV episode left.
Yeah. There's a lot of characters in this film for such a short film. I think that might be my
don't-
biggest criticism. That you don't really form a relationship with any of them. Because
Yeah, I think maybe
they're not
calling
really
them
in it.
characters is a bit giving it a bit of credit as well.
So she's in the middle of this rant, and suddenly there's a car horn goes off outside, and her dad, who she doesn't talk to, is
Yep.
sitting in the drive
As Mike.
to pick up Steve.
Yep.
That's just a weird relationship. So he spends all day with him, and she don't speak to him. Steve tells him now, doesn't she, that Steve tells Mike that his daughter's pregnant.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, congratulations.
Yeah. I'm happy for you guys. That's what he says.
But he's not like, oh, I should probably make up with her then if I'm going to be a granddad.
Nope. This is intercut with the bank manager.
Yeah, the bank.
Like getting ready to open up for the day.
Yeah, there's a delivery of money, isn't there?
Yeah. And he's like, oh, and it literally cuts to him and he's like, that's the last bit counted.
I loved that. So they're standing in the vault and there's a lady behind the table with, must be $1 million. It is, I think, $1.3 million.
It's $1.36 million.
Just on a table in cash. And she's just counting it, like one by one note. And he's like, oh, that's the last one. Now we can open it. It was like Fireman Sam or something.
Yeah,
it was so stupid.
You know, like in Anchorman when Ron Burgundy is like, 98, 99, there you go. That's 100 bicep curls.
Oh, shit, the battery's getting on the laptop.
Plug it in.
Plug it in. Bear with. Be right back. PRB. And we're back. Sorry about that.
That's fine.
Where were we?
So we've just counted all this money
Oh,
in
yeah,
the
we
vault.
just counted all the $130 million, whatever it was. No, $1.36 million.
Whoa.
That'd take a lot longer to count.
And then meanwhile, the Mercs are gearing up.
Yeah, they're in like a warehouse.
Yeah.
And they've got a lot of hardware. They've like got all sorts of different guns and
Yeah.
rocket launchers and grenades and mines and everything.
And they've got a big case.
Yeah, they're packing it all into bags.
Yeah. They've got a really big case, which is clearly a big gun.
Yeah.
But I think you're supposed to be like some tension as to what's in it.
Yeah.
Because there's lines like, oh, have you got the, well, I don't even know what
The
they
massive
call
gun.
it. Yeah.
Might as well have been.
So can I point out at this point that one of the mercenaries is Nicolas Cage's
Yes.
son in real life?
Western Cage Coppola.
Yeah.
Coppola.
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 Yeah.
Because he's Cage and Francis Ford Coppola related in some way.
Yes, they are, yeah.
Yeah.
I think they might be uncle and nephew.
Something like that. Am I right in thinking that Between Worlds had a relative of Cage in as well? I can't remember.
Now you're
I feel,
asking
I
me to
feel like
remember.
we've mentioned this before. If you look at this guy's IMDb profile, every film he's in has got Nicolas Cage in. Literally, he only gets work because of his dad. He's a singer in like an emo punk rock band.
He's like the muscle of the Mercs, isn't
Yeah,
he?
he
He's
doesn't have
the
any
hulking.
lines.
He's got like one or two lines.
One or two
He's like
throwaway
the
lines.
hulking. Well, yeah,
He's
he
got awful
loves all
hair.
the. Yeah, he's got curtains.
He's got yeah.
It's like the night is called, and they wanted their hairstyle back.
He really has.
And he does quite look a bit. He does quite look like Nicolas Cage.
He does like a bigger,
You can see the
muscular
resemblance.
version of him.
So yeah, they're gearing up and heading out.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Mike and Steve are meeting Kenny at the police station.
Before that, the guy plants a bomb in the cafe.
Oh, is that at the same
That
time?
happens at the same time. So I think that's cut into the same time. So there's a cafe, and there's one of the mercs is sitting in the cafe, and he gets a bomb out of his bag and just sticks it to the underside of a table and leaves. Nothing else happens at that point, but that'll become more apparent why that happened later on. But then you're right, and then they Cage uses the line of, "Oh, I think I'm ready to retire."
He's got a letter that
Yeah.
you see him at one point in his hand, and it is his retirement papers.
Because it's obviously the movie trope of I've got one last job before I retire.
It's his last day, damn it.
He says to Steve, "This isn't a good time to be a cop." That's why I'm ready. I'm done. I'm ready to retire.
Yeah, and he's like, everyone's filming you all the time, and
it's not a good time to be. It probably isn't a good time to be a cop. Yeah, and then that's when Kenny's mum drops him off for his ride along.
yeah, and they Steve busts Kenny's balls a bit,
Yeah,
doesn't he?
They're not happy, are they?
He's like, "What? We're gonna take you out. What have you been up to?" It's just, "What, you little shit?" All this sort of stuff.
Because they don't know that Kenny's not a little shit.
Yeah.
And so you get a bit of a montage of him driving around with Kenny, don't you? And
Sure.
they make an arrest at a gas station.
Yeah, there's a homeless guy. He's
just
stole some
kicking off.
cigarettes, hasn't he? I think.
And
But
Kenny
Kenny films the whole thing.
films the whole thing on his phone. Now, I'm not sure if you're supposed to do that or not.
I'm not sure they'd have let him take his phone with him
No, I don't think so.
in a ride-along
Real
situation.
Now, do you think this film was supposed to be called Ride Along? Because it is said a lot
It is
in
said
this
a lot.
first half an hour. Every scene is like, "Oh, we're going to do this ride along. We need
did
to do
say
a
it like
ride along." And I was like, I think this film was supposed to be called that, but there is a film called that,
Yeah.
and I think maybe they couldn't call it that.
Is it Ice Cube?
Yeah, I think it is.
Ride along.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it might be.
but I think maybe they couldn't call it that. But they say it a lot,
Yeah.
like too much.
And they only say 211 once.
Yeah, they do. So it makes me wonder if the film was supposed to be called Ride Along to start with,
Let's say that.
because it would make more sense to be called Ride Along.
Or the bank robbery.
Yeah. So then you get a little scene of the mercs leaving the warehouse, mercenaries leaving the warehouse in their car, and just after they've left, the Interpol lady turns up.
Yeah, it's literally their car leaves round the corner.
She pulls
and
round
she
the corner.
pulls round.
On her own,
Yep.
unarmed.
Yep.
I don't know what she was thinking.
No idea.
But luckily they weren't there because they would have just killed her.
She's that good of a job. She'd probably have just
Arrested all 4 of them with their hardware. Yeah, it just made me laugh. I was like, what were you expecting to find here?
And she finds.
How did she find them as well?
I don't know. Well, I presume the gun
she's
guy.
fucking good at her job.
Yeah, the gun guy
must
got
have
the
given her the information.
But she finds a clue.
I was just taking a drink then.
And it's literally, she picks up like the corner of a label, and she's like, "Aha!
Of this label.
This clue."
I love it when we just giggle all the way through episodes.
It reminded me of a computer game though.
Yeah.
It's like, I will scan this room
Yeah, it's like
for a clue.
Put this in your inventory.
Yeah, there is a clue.
She literally finds it straight away as
Yeah.
well. I didn't catch what it was to start with. It does explain later on what it was.
It's a bit of a label or
Yeah.
something. Yeah, but it didn't make. Yeah, I didn't. Put
They
two and
did
two
tell you
together.
what it was later on, but
We'll get there.
and then the mercenaries arrive at the bank, don't
Yep.
they? And then that's in your next scene. So you get your kind of standard bank robbery spiel. So there's loads of people inside.
Yeah.
And
Hit the ground. Give
hit
us
the
all your
ground.
phones.
Yeah, you've seen them all in movies before. Put all your phones in bags.
And
They take the bank manager out the back, don't they?
yeah, and they start filling.
Yeah, they force him to open the
holdalls.
vault, and they said they've got 1 minute to. They want to be in and out in a minute. Is basically what they said, don't they? So you've got 1 minute to fill up the bags with all the cash, which is still on the table.
Yeah. So 3 of them in the bank, and 1 of them is in the getaway car outside.
Now our heroes, Mike and Steve and Kenny, are over the road.
So it's like a town square, isn't
Yeah.
it? So there's
The
sort
bank's
of,
on one side, and they're at like a cafe kind of
coffee shop.
diner, coffee shop kind of on the other side of the square. And Mike eyeballs something's not quite. He doesn't catch what's going on, but he eyeballs something's going on, doesn't he? And he's like,
So they get the coffee, and he has it while they're waiting for Steve to get the coffee. He has a bit of a chat with Kenny.
Yeah.
This is like the
Oh,
film's
yeah.
token effort at some character, and Kenny sort of says to Mike, wasn't my fault. I get bullied all the time. I haven't got any friends, and Mike's quite sympathetic. Cage is all right actually. Just here, it's like you can see.
I don't think Cage is bad in this film at all.
Hey, he
For Cage.
compared to what we saw in Between Worlds, this is an Oscar performance.
Yeah, I agree.
He's fine.
I was absolutely fine. But there's a great scene that he's in later on.
Yeah, he holds it together.
Yeah, he does.
This movie, and so he has that sort of bit of a bonding moment with Kenny.
Yeah.
Steve comes out with the coffee.
Yeah.
and just as they're about to drive away, Kay sort of says, that car is parked right in front of the bank. It's in the red zone.
It's in the red zone.
Which always reminds me of Airplane.
Yeah. And he's like,
Parked in the red zone.
should we go over? We should go over and investigate.
Yeah.
So they drive
Move him
up-
on or whatever.
Yeah, just move him on. So they drive up behind him, and they just sit there in the car. They don't get out. They don't move or do anything. They just sit behind
I think
this
that's
car.
supposed to be
Just-
tension.
Yeah, just to see if this guy was going to leave, I think.
It's supposed to add tension to the movie, I think.
Yeah. And obviously, there's one guy still sitting in the car on the outside, and he kind of spots them and he eyeballs that they're there. And
He radios to the guys
Yeah.
inside and says, "Oh, might have some interested cops."
Yeah. So the guy who's running the show on the inside says, "Did we ever get names for the mercenaries?"
A couple. I think the getaway driver's called Hyde. I
Okay.
think, and obviously you've got Trey. You forgot about Trey as well.
I did forget about Trey for a minute.
I don't know what Cage Jr. is called. I don't know if that
I
comes
don't
up.
know if that comes up. So the guy who's running the show on the inside tells Trey tells Hyde to make the call, is what he says.
Yeah.
So Hyde gets his mobile phone out and he rings a number, and the cafe blows up.
Yeah.
So where the bomb was that was planted earlier on, they've blown up a cafe that's not in the same place. It's not the same cafe that was over the road from the
No.
bank.
So I presume a couple of blocks away.
Yeah. Then obviously instantly over the radio in the cop car comes, cafe's blown up, all units respond.
Yeah.
Everybody get over there.
Potential terrorist situation, they say.
So they've done this as a distraction to get all the police away.
Yeah.
But Mike's not having that. He's like, we've got Kenny in the back.
He's like, we can't go to that.
We can't go to a potential terrorist site.
We've got a kid in the back
We've
of the
got
car.
a kid in the back of the car. We'll stay here, keep our eye on what's going on here. And then you see a scene of Kenny's mum in the hospital, and they're preparing for patients.
Yeah, so all the people in the hospital are watching the news.
Yeah, she works in A&E, doesn't she? So she's watching the news.
And this is the first time it's revealed that she's a doctor
Yeah.
or whatever. And
I didn't even
thought
pick up it was the same
I
actress.
thought it was amazing. I was like, of course she is.
I didn't pick, this scene. I didn't pick it up till later on that it was the same woman.
Of course, everything is connected.
Yeah. So they're getting prepared, ready, because they know a lot of people are going to be coming in from this explosion. And I said Cage is really good in this. Everybody else, who are not the main three, are awful.
Oh no, I thought Steve was awful as well.
Yeah, he was pretty bad. There's a scene where he is really bad that's coming up. I'll point that out. But
I would. The only people I would give any credit to in this movie are Nicolas Cage and
the guy who plays Kenny.
the lad who plays Kenny.
Yeah.
Everyone else, just go in the sea.
Get in the fucking sea. There's a couple of this one in particular where she's briefing all the other doctors, and all the doctors are like, "Oh my god, there's an explosion! What are we gonna?" It's so bad. It is so bad. And then there's a cop lady later on who's really bad.
Wooden.
So wooden.
Yeah.
Really, really bad. So the whole I've written here, the whole supporting cast in this are awful. We cut away from the hospital and we meet back up with the Interpol lady. What was her name?
Rossi.
And she's going to head to the scene of the explosion as well, because she figures, I've just found some mercenaries, and now I've seen Caffey's blown up. It's probably connected.
I don't know how big a town
I don't think it's very big.
Chesterford, Massachusetts is, but it doesn't seem to be very big.
Yeah, agreed.
Certainly not sure they'd be able to cope with this number of casualties that are about to start pouring in, and they have a lot of police.
They do have a lot of police.
I will
That is
point
very
that out.
true. Then we go back to the bank, and the driver of the car gets out. The driver of the getaway car gets out, and he starts firing bullets.
Yeah.
And for the remainder of this film, nobody stops firing bullets.
Nope.
It's literally now until the end of this film, it's gunfight.
It's gunfire for the last
Constant.
40 minutes.
Constant. There's never a scene where there's not gunshot going off.
Percentage-wise, how many bullets hit something?
Not many. Really,
No
not
one
many.
can shoot for shit in this film.
And I'm not kidding you when I say there must be 1 million bullets shot in this film. It's constant. It's seriously never stops, does it?
Yeah.
It just doesn't ever stop from this point onwards. From the minute he fires that first gun at their car, it's gunshot after gunshot after gunshot.
So you've got the getaway driver in this indeterminable gun battle
Yeah.
with Mike, and Steve can't get out of the car at first. He's
Steve's stuck in the car.
'cause
Mike
his
and Kenny have managed
yeah.
to get out. Steve's stuck. His seatbelt's because they crash it, don't they?
Yeah.
Because when he starts shooting, they reverse it away.
Yeah.
And they crash it into something, and it jams Steve's seatbelt, so he can't get out. Inside the bank,
Trey shoots
Trey
the
shoots the security guard, and outside there's a proper shoot on going on now between Nicolas Cage and Tidy. What was his name?
Hyde.
Tidy.
And can I tell you the next bit that made me laugh?
Yeah.
So there's this shoot at the minute. It's just because Steve's still stuck in the patrol car.
Yeah.
It's just the
Shouting.
two characters shooting at each other.
Yeah. Kenny's lying on the floor behind the car.
And then, really randomly, a builder just runs into the gunfire and dies.
Yeah, just gets shot. Just runs straight through the middle of the.
I say he was a
town
builder. He could have been the construction worker out of the village people.
He just had a red high vis on.
Yeah, and a hard hat. So he's run from somewhere safe
Yeah.
towards the bank.
Yeah.
Just through this
gets mowed
gunfight.
down in the
It
gunfight.
just really made me laugh. Steve eventually frees himself from the
He
car,
manages to cut
He's
his
got like a
seatbelt.
pocket
He's
knife.
got like a pocket knife.
and he
So
joins the
He
gunfight.
starts shooting. Right, it's just chaos. There's people are shouting. There's cars reversing everywhere. It's
How has Nicholas?
gunfire going off.
How has Mike got all this ammo?
I don't know. I really don't. It just. How has anybody got this ammo? How has the town got this much ammo?
But at least we've seen the mercs
Yeah.
load up, and we knew they had a warehouse full of weapons.
He's got one of those pistols that holds 1 million bullets. The guys in the bank obviously can hear this, so they take the hostages, don't they, and put them in the office.
Yep.
So they take them around the back of the bank, and more cops show up from somewhere.
And then a couple of the mercs go back to the bank window and they start
Yeah,
firing shots as well.
and then Cage manages to get a shot in on the getaway driver.
Yeah.
Hyde. He manages to shoot him in the leg, doesn't he?
Yeah, and then immediately before or after, I'm not sure in which order it happens. It doesn't really matter. But Hyde shoots Steve in the leg as well.
Just gets him on the leg.
1-1.
1-1. The bad guy.
Hyde.
Why can't that name go in my head? He kind of makes a run for it at that point, and he shoots a lady, doesn't he?
Yep.
And steals her car.
Yeah, totally GTA's off.
Yeah, yeah. Literally, what he does, he opens the car door, shoots her, pulls her out, and then gets in her car. And he drives away. And as he's driving, he's kind of driving towards Nick Cage,
Yeah.
or Chandler, or whatever he's called. And Cage is shooting at the car, and gets one on his head.
Yep.
Shoots him in the head.
One merc down.
One merc down. So he kind of crashes the car, doesn't he? Because he's been shot in the head, as you would. So it kind of calms down a little bit outside at this point.
Yeah, but, and then this is where Mike does his acting.
Oh my God.
And he's like...
It's awful.
He's like, I'm never going to see my baby. He's like, Mike, today's the day I die. I'm dying today.
He does. He says, I'm dying here, man. You know, when,
I'm bleeding out.
Oh, it's so bad. And he's literally
Tell my wife I love her.
He's got a tiny graze on his leg.
I know.
And he doesn't look ill. He doesn't look like he's dying. He's just sitting there, as healthy as me and you are now, with a little bit of blood pouring out of his leg. And he's doing this such acting.
It's totally overacting, and I think it's really funny because Nicolas Cage character Mike is just like, well, I'm just going to wrap it up.
Yeah,
he's like totally calm.
Yeah, he's like, you're not dying here. You've got a little hole in your leg. You're not going to die. Cover it. And Steve looks fine. And Cage even says to him, "It's just a scratch, Steve." It's so
I don't know what was going on here.
And it's like, I'm bleeding out. I'm going to die today. And Cage just puts a bandage around him. It was so bad. It is so bad. I don't know who this guy is, but wow.
So they're pinned down because they're getting shot at by the guys who are still in the bank.
Yeah, remember Kenny's still there with them as well. And
all the other cops are at this cafe where the bomb's gone off.
Yeah.
So they're in desperate need of assistance. So Cage sort of manages to radio through. We've got a man down. We're taking on gunfire, and we cut back to the cafe where the bomb's gone off. And Rossi turns up. She meets the like SWAT team leader.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Look, I found this clue. It's the label of some C4.
Yeah.
That must have been what made this explosion." And the guy's like, "Oh, brilliant.
Excellent. Well done. Good work.
You are very good at your job. The rumours are true."
So she says, "Can I help with anything?" And he went, "Yeah, go and talk to that waitress."
Yeah.
Who just happened to be the waitress who was talking to the man in the thing earlier, the man in the cafe earlier who planted the bomb. Meanwhile, at the hospital, people are starting to come in, and then they get another news about this bank robbery that's going on now.
Yeah.
They're like, more people are going to come. Because she's like, not another explosion. Just like that. And he's like,
Yeah,
it's bank robbery.
It's bank robbery.
It's fine. Meanwhile, Steve is still convinced that he's bleeding out.
It's like, "Mike, I'm going cold." This is starts to shiver. It's like DiCaprio coming off the Titanic.
Oh, it's so funny. Honestly, it's just watch it just for this. It's so funny. Mike's potential death scenes.
So Kenny's been like tasked with keeping him awake.
Yeah. It's why Cage is still shooting.
He's like slapping him in the face. Like,
Cage is still shooting at people. Cage's son, we didn't get a name for, but he's got a sniper rifle from somewhere now.
so at this point, some of the cops are now coming away from the bombing and to the bank robbery.
Yeah.
So they're starting to get some backup.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was what was in the big gun case. A big
sniper.
gun. And the merc that is played by Nicolas Cage's son starts
He
taking
takes
out.
a shot at Nicolas Cage, but he misses.
Yeah.
He just missed him completely.
He didn't miss anyone else.
No, he killed.
Convenient.
He killed a different man, and then he killed another one. And Steve's fading fast.
No, Steve.
And he says to Kenny, "Have you still got your phone?" Because Kenny they had taken Kenny's phone off him.
Yeah.
And he'd managed to get it back as he got out of the car.
Yeah.
So, and he says to Kenny, "Film me." This was even worse. So Kenny gets his phone and he's starting filming Steve while this gunshot fight is still going on around them. He's filming Steve on his phone, and Steve makes a goodbye video to his wife.
Yeah, and his unborn child. Do we know his child?
I don't
whatever.
think it would. Yeah, I don't think it would at that
And
point.
he's like, "You never knew me, but I'll always be your daddy."
That's a great impression. That's exactly what he does.
And then he
I
has
love
like
these films where we can just
and then
giggle
he
all
has
the way.
like a single tear falls down his face.
Yeah.
And then he just wipes away and he's like, "Kenny, turn that phone off."
I'm not dying yet. I'm fine. And at that point, we cut back to Steve's wife, and she kind of sees what's going on the news.
Yeah, she turns the news on.
She turns the news on and sees what's going on. She knows he's a cop, so she knows he's probably going to be involved in either the bombing or the bank robbery.
She tries to call him.
Yeah,
There's no
just
answer.
goes to voicemail.
So she leaves the house.
Yeah, she does. She just leaves.
Who knows where she's going?
Could be going anywhere. Meanwhile, there's lots of shooting still going on at the bank. Gunfires just never stops, as I said.
So
A couple more cops go down, don't
Yeah,
they?
we've got a few more cops turning up now. So 3 or 4 of them make a move towards Steve and Mike and Kenny. So you've got the Latino female cop who you mentioned earlier,
Awful.
and her partner is like this jock,
Who is awful.
fresh faced guy.
Yeah.
And then there's another guy, I think he's called Hanson, who we see later as well. So
Yeah.
these are like 3 supporting
Cops.
police officers. So they make a move, and they get to Steve.
You have to try and they want to try and get Steve away, don't they? Because he's
and
injured.
extract him. So they get there pretty easily, actually.
Yeah.
They're not very careful with how they move him. It's fair to say.
That's an exaggeration. They literally drag him across this square. While they're dragging him, she takes a shot in the back as well, didn't she?
Yep.
She goes down. And then she gets literally mauled when she's getting taken away. Did you notice? It's like her partner drags her by the feet.
By the hair, sorry.
By the hair. Was it by the hair? I think it was by the hair. Yeah, it was, because her feet had like clambering along the floor trying to keep up. Yeah, it was like there was no finesse about it whatsoever.
So I didn't quite follow what happened, but basically Kenny didn't keep up with them.
Kenny gets separated because
Does he drop his phone like a moron?
he dropped his phone.
And he thinks...
And by that time, the gunfire started up
Yeah,
again.
but he took his time to go back for it.
Yeah.
Do you think this film is clever enough to be making some sort of social commentary on
No.
how kids are so attached to their phone nowadays that even in this life or death situation,
He's going to go back.
he values the importance of his device.
He know that he'd got Steve's important message on there, and he needed to deliver this to Steve's wife.
I think we were both giving it far too much
Me
credit.
too. Basically, he drops his phone. He gets separated from the cops. The gunfire starts up again.
Yeah.
So he just dives into the nearest car he can
Yeah,
find.
so he's still stuck in all these cars between the bank. Well, he's basically in the middle of the shootout.
Yeah.
But he's got his head down. He's in the back of another car.
Yeah. Steve gets put in an ambulance and driven away. Still conscious. Still not dead. Still absolutely fine. Well, not fine, but not.
Well, yeah, and we never. That's it. Steve's gone.
You do see him once more.
Yeah, I know, but for like
He's out of the.
We'll talk about it when we get there. But
Yeah.
there's not much follow up on Steve.
No, really not. This is at that point, as soon as the ambulance is gone, Cage is like, "Oh, I've lost the ride along."
Yeah, he's like, oh my god, we've lost Kenny.
I really wanted Kenny to die. Which one of you killed Kenny? And he takes a phone call at this point from his daughter, who he's estranged from. And
Gunfight's still going on, but he answers his phone.
he answers his phone. They're kind of around a corner now,
Yeah.
aren't they? He tells her, look, he's in a bad way.
Yeah.
It doesn't look good.
He's in the back of an ambulance.
He's in the back of an
On the
ambulance
way
on his
to
way to hospital. Then we go back to Kenny. Now, did you catch what Kenny did here?
Yeah, so
Kenny's battery's going rapidly on his phone.
yeah. So there was a doll in the back of the car.
Yes.
So he's took the battery out of the doll.
Yeah.
It's like one of them square, rectangular, like 9-volt ones, isn't
Yeah.
it? And he's got a charge cable from the front of the car,
Yeah.
which happens to be the same one he needs for his phone.
Yeah.
And he has managed to affix the battery to the charge cable to get enough charge
He pulls a dollar part and rigs a phone charger out.
Yeah.
He's like MacGyver.
to give enough juice to his phone so he can call his mother,
Yeah.
basically.
Why couldn't he just phone into the USB port of the car?
I don't know.
It was so silly. Lisa arrives at Lisa's Cage's daughter. I don't know if we mentioned her name. She arrives at the hospital at this point, and
Can I say what this also made me... I've put ha 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 because she walks into the hospital, walks past reception, through one set of doors,
Yeah.
and in front of her,
Steve just lying on a bed.
being operated on,
Yeah.
and the doors are open.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not even... Just like this operating theatre. And I was just like,
And the receptionist is like,
what? There's an operation just going on.
The receptionist is like, you can't go back there, and then just leaves. And she goes back. She goes in there anyway. And all the doctors are like, get off him, because she's hugging him.
Yeah.
And she's like, we're working here, get off him. And she just won't get off him. And she's like, this is your husband, get the fuck off him so they can save his life.
But then, as this is happening, the lady cop is wheeled in.
Yeah, she's in the bed next to Steve.
And Kenny's mum is there assessing the lady cop. So all these people who all happen to be important
Yeah.
and have information are all suddenly together. And the lady cop happens to say to Lisa, oh, yeah, Steve, you've seen Steve. Mike's, your dad's still out there. He's looking for the kid. And the doctor's like, the kid?
That must be my son.
That must be my son.
Oh, dear. So, but then...
I have a question, though.
Go on.
How did Lady Cop know the kid was missing?
Exactly. Because she got shot before they'd noticed that he was missing.
Yeah.
I was going to say exactly the same thing.
I don't think this film holds up to scrutiny.
Completely agree. How did she even know that they had a ride along?
He might have been with them when they first got to
I don't think
Mike
she ever met him.
and Steve.
I don't think she ever met him.
No, but when they went to pull them out, they might have seen him then,
Possibly.
and then he just didn't make it all the way back.
Kenny was definitely not missing when she got shot.
No, she wouldn't know that
She
he
wouldn't know
didn't
that he
make
wasn't
it back.
there.
Yeah,
No.
I agree. I thought it was hilarious.
So his mum obviously starts panicking a little bit, but suddenly her phone rings.
Yeah, as she's
So as
they're
she's
having
in this
conversation.
mid-panic, and it's Kenny. conveniently, because he's managed to get this doll to charge his phone for him. And she basically says to him, "Oh, you'll be all right. Stay safe."
Yeah.
That's the end of the phone call.
Keep your head down.
Keep
It'll
your
all be
head down.
over soon.
Hide in the back of that car.
Now there's a really weird scene next.
Yep.
So we're suddenly
Glad you spotted this.
we're suddenly in the back of like the SWAT wagon.
It's also nighttime now.
Yeah. Cage Mike is in there.
Yeah.
With the SWAT team leader.
Yeah.
I think Rossi's in there as well.
I think she is, yeah.
And
yeah, she is.
He's basically debriefing the guys on what happened
Yeah.
and the whole situation we've been through. And he's quite calm. And then suddenly he goes Cage.
Full on batshit Cage.
He goes apeshit at the SWAT guys.
There is nothing better in cinema than when Cage starts overacting.
And he's like, but he's really obsessed with a weird detail.
Yeah.
He's like, why were you an hour late?
What took you so long?
You took an hour to get here. You left us to die.
Yeah.
But the SWAT guy doesn't go, we were dealing with a bomb.
No, he doesn't. It doesn't say
with a potential
anything
terrorist
like
thing round the corner. He just takes this caging.
Oh, it's amazing though. Isn't it amazing when he starts
it's good.
shouting? It's proper Cage shouting as well. You know when he does that wobbly voice thing that he
But
does?
it's just really weird.
It's amazing. It's so weird.
And
And
the scene's just really weird.
I want to question the timeline of this this film now as well. Because during this debriefing, Cage says, "We arrived on the scene at 10 a.m.
Yeah.
It's now dark. What the fuck's happened?" The clock on the wall says 5:17.
Right.
It's pitch dark outside. So it must get dark early in Massachusetts.
Well, that's fine. It can be winter.
That's
That's
still
fine.
7 hours and 17 minutes since they arrived. If they arrived at 10 a.m., which they would have because they'd only just picked Kenny up
Yeah.
and they'd gone to get some coffee for breakfast. This film's not been going on. There's not 7 hours worth of stuff that's gone on. Unless, since Steve got taken away, they've all just sat around in the corner for 5 hours.
And I've just left Kenny.
And they've just left Kenny in that car. Why it had to be nighttime at the end of this film, I don't know, but the timeline does not hold up at all. I don't know if you spotted it, but it does not hold up.
And then Cage leaves.
Yeah.
And the SWAT guy and Rossi then have an equally weird conversation.
Yeah.
And because we know she's amazing and efficient and good at her job.
Great at her job.
She basically says, when you storm the place, they're going to try and escape in the confusion.
Because they're waiting for you to attack now.
Yeah.
That's what they do. They're mercenaries. If you attack, they will beat you.
And she's like, yeah, they'll create confusion, and whilst you're storming in, they'll try and escape.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, well, yeah, but we can't not go in.
Yeah.
We've got hostages to rescue.
Yeah.
It was just weird.
It was weird.
It's a really weird conversation. It wasn't how normal people talk.
And then we cut back inside the bank for the first time in 7 hours.
Yeah.
And,
Somehow, one guy still got a phone on him.
yeah. So he gets shot.
Yeah. Because he really unsubtly just gets his phone out
Just in front of everybody.
in front of the
Gets it out of his
mercenaries.
pocket. He's like, oh, I've been here 7 hours. I'm going to get my phone out.
Now I'm going to go for it.
So he gets shot. And then the bank manager kind of confronts one of
Yeah,
them.
he
Doesn't
suddenly grows a pair, doesn't
he? Suddenly
he? for some
grows.
reason.
He's the only one who couldn't sit on the floor. I think he was too old and fat.
That's
was
because he
sitting
wants
on
to
a
get
chair.
back for his anniversary.
So he confronts one of the mercenaries and he says to him, because the mercenary puts a pistol to his head,
Yeah.
and he says, the bank manager says, if you're going to shoot me, just shoot me.
So he does.
So he does. He just shoots him in the head, and that's the end of him.
And then we go back to Mike,
Yeah.
and it's like he has a brainwave, and he's like, Kenny must still be out there in one of those cars.
Oh.
It's only been 5 hours, but now I think we should do something about it.
Yeah. And the lieutenant SWAT guy says, no, just leave it to us now.
Yeah, we're going in.
We're going in. We'll take control. Just stand down. And so Cage is like, okay, no problem. So he goes outside,
Picks up an
picks
assault
up
rifle.
an assault rifle
and
that nobody's
goes
got their eye
back
on,
into
just
the
off
scene.
a table, and just runs off. It's got a scope, and Cage is kind of hiding in a bush,
Yep.
and he looks through this scope and instantly just finds Kenny's head. Like straight through this scope, through this, and there's a car. Kenny's obviously still in the car, and it's kind of speeding up now because the SWAT guys are moving in. The hostages are all lined up in the lobby.
Yeah.
So the mercs line them up in a row.
They're creating they're getting ready to create a distraction, exactly like Rossi
what
said.
Rossi said would happen. And some other guy turns up to help Cage.
So that's Hansen. That's the third cop who helped him earlier get Steve out.
So you've got
And Cage is like, I've got to go and get Kenny. And Hansen's like, I'm coming with you.
so you've got two kind of interspersed for the rest of the film. Now, you've
Yeah.
got two kind of interspersed scenes of Hansen and Cage trying to rescue Kenny and whatever's going on outside the bank.
Cage is like, okay, well, we're brothers, so let's go.
Yeah.
They've got no armour on.
No.
Just they're literally still in their shirt and tie. They're like cop uniforms.
Cop uniforms. They've got a gun each and
Yeah.
the rifle that Cage stole.
And they get to Kenny really quickly.
They do. And just rescue him basically. But
Yeah.
while this is happening, the hostages are all let out of the bank.
Yeah, so they literally so Trey puts something in one of the hostages' pockets.
Yeah.
And they basically like when a dog chases sheep.
Yeah.
That happens, and all the hostages just like funnel out into the square.
And they kind of get hidden behind a SWAT van, don't they? The SWAT van's moving.
So, but there's people everywhere. So the SWAT team's coming in. The hostages have been let out. There's still some gunfire.
And this hostage that's got this thing in her pocket says, "He put something in my pocket." And one of the cops goes, "Okay, what is it?" So he grabs it out of her pocket, recognizes it as a bomb, grenade, bomb, whatever it is. And he's like, "Oh shit!" And he kind of runs away.
Yeah.
And then it blows up, and he went down like a rag doll.
Yeah.
Did you see? It was really weird. Bits of him go everywhere. It's a really good scene. His arm kind of floats behind his head, and he just gets blown up.
So the rest of the SWAT team go in
because the hostages are free now.
Like 4 of them get exploded at once
straight away. As soon as they get through the door, they get blown up.
Because we know these mercs have got all this hardware, so they've kind of rigged a load of stuff up in the foyer of the bank.
Yeah, and just as Rossi predicted they would, they kind of get out in the melee.
Yeah, so they've split the money into 3 different bags.
There's only 2 of them left?
No, 3 of them left at this point. So they, the only one they've lost is the driver. So they split the money into three different bags, and they
basically just run for it.
They head a different direction each.
And I've put, this is their big plan, because instantly 2 of them get killed.
Yeah.
So these are like top level mercenaries. They've been billed as this all the way through this film.
Yeah. So Case Jr. gets shot.
Yeah.
And then
one of the other ones gets shot. You're just thinking, oh, that's ridiculous. It's like all this time they've been planning this whole thing, and the whole plan was to just run when the hostages got out.
So lead mercenary Trey, he manages to somehow avoid all the SWAT and police.
Yeah.
And kind of emerges further along the car park.
Yeah.
Just in front of Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, exactly where Cage and this other guy are. The guy, was it Hansen?
Yeah.
He gets taken out. He gets one in the leg, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah. And Cage also gets shot.
Yeah.
Cage gets shot in the leg. Hansen gets killed, doesn't he?
Yeah, gets killed dead.
Yeah. This guy kind of comes around the corner of the car.
Yeah, he's standing over Mike.
Cage.
Yeah.
Mike. I keep calling him Cage.
That's fine.
Mike, as if he's going to kill him. And then all of a sudden, this guy gets shot.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, who's done that? Everybody's dead. Obviously, Kenny did it.
Yeah.
Kenny shoots the bad guy.
Then Rossi swoops in for the kill to finish him off.
Yeah, because Kenny doesn't kill him, but Rossi finishes him off. And that's kind of pretty much the end, isn't it? And then
bad guys are all dead.
The shooting finishes there.
Yeah.
And I'm not exaggerating to say the shooting never stopped.
No.
I can't exaggerate this enough. Even when they were in the hospital, you could hear it on the TV.
Yeah, you could, yeah.
Cage and Kenny are sitting in the back of an ambulance next to each other. They're not talking, they're just sitting next to each other, kind of getting over what's just happened. And Kenny's mum shows up.
Yeah, she's obviously been relieved from
the hospital.
Where hundreds of people are lying dead or dying.
And then Lisa shows up. And she has a big reunion with Cage, doesn't she?
Yeah.
And then
they say, I love you, Dad.
I love you, Dad. They have the big reunion. Yeah. And then in the next scene, Cage is kind of arriving at home. And
it's 1 year later.
Does it say 1 year later?
Yeah. It says 1 year later, and he's out for a jog. I have never seen a person look less like he goes running than Nicolas Cage as he's running in this short scene.
Agreed more. Couldn't agree more. I didn't catch it said 1 year later. I must have missed that. Because I was like, some time has passed here. He gets home from his jog and everybody's there at his house and it's a surprise party.
Yeah.
And Steve's there.
Yeah. Remember him?
Remember the guy who died earlier? Didn't die. He was fine because he only got a fucking graze in his leg. The baby's been born.
Yep. It's a little girl.
Cage has got a granddaughter.
Yeah, I think she's in pink.
Yeah, I think she is. You're right. And Kenny's there as well.
Yep.
And Cage turns to Kenny and says, because he's looking at the pictures on his mantelpiece
of his dead wife and stuff.
His dead wife, and he just turns to Kenny and says, "Take some new pictures."
He's like, "Have you got that phone you always carry around with you?
Take some new pictures."
I think I need some new pics.
End of film.
Yeah.
What did you think of 211, Nicholas?
It's terrible.
It's really bad.
It's an awful film, and I loved it.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. That's exactly how I would describe it. It is brilliant, but it's shit. But it's one of those films that is so bad that it's really good.
Whether it caught me in the right mood or what,
I think it must have.
I found it hilarious.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. It's brilliant. It's stupid.
It flew by.
Yeah, Well, to be fair, nothing happened for. It was only an hour's worth of film.
but so we're talking about Between Worlds from our first season. That was, I think, that was shorter than this.
Probably.
That dragged like
Yeah,
I don't know.
Like
what.
I feel like I'm still watching it now. This is fun. This is so much fun. That scene where Cage is just overacting and they just let him off his leash for 10 minutes. Brilliant.
It's incoherent. Everyone in it is terrible,
Yeah.
apart from Nicolas Cage and the guy who plays Kenny. It's also coincidental that everyone knows each other. Everyone's in the right place at the right time. My mum's a teacher who's a hospital worker who's, it's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. But it's exactly the sort of thing I wanted to watch from doing this show.
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly what we were looking for. It's batshit crazy, fun as anything, mental shit film.
It's how to do a really simple story, really. It's
Yeah.
just a bank robbery and then just totally go off the rails with it.
Yeah, just have some fun with it and just enjoy it.
Yeah.
Cage looked like for the first time in a long time, Cage looked like he was really enjoying himself. He looked like he was having a lot of fun playing the part. And because he makes a lot of films these days, we've mentioned
yes.
this before. He makes, 18 films one year,
Yeah,
was
it
it?
was something like that.
Well, he looked like he really enjoyed this one.
Which you can understand why, because he's only in this one for 50 minutes.
Well, yeah, that's true.
So he probably knocked it out in a week and a half.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I'd recommend it to people.
I would say,
You're not
you
gonna
want to
get,
see
like, a
something stupid
cinematic
and bad,
masterpiece.
go and watch this.
Yeah.
It's awful dialogue, terribly acted, badly directed, really quite annoying actually for the amount of gunfire.
For 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Non-stop.
Oh, when that builder just ran into the gun. Oh, it's so funny. So funny.
There are some really funny bits. When Steve thinks he's dying, and he clearly isn't. It is brilliant. It's really brilliant. I had so much fun watching this.
Yeah.
So much fun watching this.
I wasn't sure when another Cage film came out. I was like, is it too soon? But I'm really
one
happy.
every 6 months is fine.
I'm really happy. Well, yeah, but that's because I thought, oh, this is just going to be absolutely terrible. But no, I think we've ended on a high. I
agree.
It was tremendous fun.
I'm not sure. Obviously, we know the Cage Kiss podcast.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they've done it or not yet. I'd be interested to hear.
I don't think they've got to any of his later.
I don't know if they do them in order now. I think they might just be picking them at random.
Okay.
I might have a word with them this week to talk about this film because I'm not sure if they've got there yet, and I'd be interested to hear their opinion on it if they have. Yeah, it's great. It's great. I don't care.
It's awful.
It's awfully great. Have you got a trivia question? We'll end the season with our final trivia.
Yeah, I think I might have two. I need to decide which one.
I've only got one this week. Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, go on then.
During this film, a cafeteria is blown up, or a cafe is blown up. Do you know the name of the cafe?
Do you know what? I don't. Because both of my questions are, do you know the name of this thing? And neither of them are the cafe.
Oh.
I
am it is a bit of a bastard question because it's never said.
Oh, is it not?
But it is on the sign. Because she goes out for a smoke just before it blows up.
I don't think either of mine are said either, though.
I'm not going to know them. I know that for a fact.
Okay, is it the Cafe Coppola?
No.
Ah.
It's called Garçons.
Oh, okay. Boys.
Yeah, exactly. It's just made me laugh when I've seen it.
Feels inappropriate. Okay. Oh, well, that's a shame. I finish on 9.
You finish on 9.
Right, let's see what we can do for
better
you.
Than me.
I'll let you choose. Do you want question 1 or question 2?
Can I hear them?
No.
Question 2.
Okay. I need to turn the page over.
Okay.
I wasn't prepared for number 2. Can you tell me the name of the bank?
How do I not know the name of this bank? The fucking whole film's set in the bank. It's something... Oh, hold on. It's something investments and loans.
Do you know, this is really interesting because
it's very similar to the one last week, and I thought, oh, that's similar to the one last week. Is it something investments or savings and loans?
Yeah.
Which one?
Yeah.
Savings and loans.
Yeah.
Is it just... what's the town called?
Chesterford.
That doesn't sound right. Fucking hell. Is it the town name Savings and Loans?
No.
Oh, bollocks. I mean... Did you know...
It's Chesterford.
It's Chesterford.
That's the town, yeah.
Okay. Chesterford Savings and Loans.
Incorrect.
What is it?
Unity Savings and Loans.
Do I get half a point?
No.
Damn it.
You never let me
really
get
close.
half
I was
a
as
point.
close as I've ever been to one.
Do you want my other one?
Yes.
What was the name of the school?
I don't know that either. Chesterford High School.
Harrison High School.
I've realised how unobservant for films I am this time. Because you're...
You started off really well.
I know. I've not got one right for about 8, probably 10 weeks, maybe more.
You had me on the ropes. I think it was the Christmas one.
Yeah.
And I thought, I finally got you here. And you managed to...
I think it was 5-1 at one point.
Yeah, you managed to know what the pin badge he was wearing was or something random like that. I thought I was done for then.
I think I was 5-1 up at one point and you've beat me 9-6.
Yeah.
Have
Strong second half.
It's really weird because in real life, I'm quite observant and you're really not.
Yeah.
But when it comes to films, I'm obviously not as observant as I am in real life. Yeah, I quite enjoyed playing. I don't know if we're going to do it next season. We'll have a discussion on
Yeah,
that.
we'll see.
And
let us know.
we'll see. Let us know what you think. Congratulations, 9-6. I think
you.
got 6 out of 25. That's fucking shocking.
Oh, come on. 9 out of 25 isn't great. Let's be
It's not
honest.
great, but it's better than 6. That brings us to finalising the stream table for season 2. We're
Of
going to end
course.
it here.
Yeah.
I feel sad. I have no earthly clue where I want to put this film.
No, I haven't either. I'm going a bit of seat of the pants here.
Oh, I think I do. Where are you looking? You appear to be looking a lot lower than me. My gut instinct is that it is better than Burning Sands, but it's not as good as Miracle Mile.
It is not as good a film as Burning Sands, but I enjoyed this way more than Burning Sands.
Yeah, you can't enjoy Burning Sands. It's not a film to enjoy, is it? It's a tough, hard, horrible film to
brutal.
watch. Brutal. Yeah. I've got no good memories of Burning Sands.
What's just above Miracle Mile? Just to remind myself. 90s.
The Night Is the World. I don't think it's as good as that. That's a proper good French film.
It's got to go below Miracle Mile.
I think so.
Yeah.
Fucking, we've got a Nicolas Cage film in 12th on our stream table. How's that happened?
Well done.
Halfway point. Well done, Nick. So that's it. Shall I run through the whole stream table?
Yeah, go on. Go quickly.
I'll go from the bottom. That's going to confuse me because I'm not looking at it with that one. So remind me when we get there. So, the last week's films isn't in there either. Where did that go? I might regret saying this. I'm going to try and do it from memory. Buster's Malheart finished bottom, 25th. Small Crimes, 24th. Stop me when I get to last week, so I've completely forgotten
Yep.
what it was. The Anomaly finished in 23rd. Already going wrong. Blackwater finished in 22nd. Clinical finished in 21st. The Clapper finished in 20th. I think that's a fair... Because at one point that was really rising.
Yeah.
I think 20th is fair. Because it's
Yeah.
shit.
Knocked down a couple of places.
He's Out There finished at number 19. The Super finished at number 18. The Resort finished at 17. Somewhere around here, wasn't it? Christmas Break-In at 16.
Yeah. I think The Last Laugh was in there.
The Last Laugh goes in there somewhere. Emo the Musical,
11.
maybe. Burning Sands. Then the film that we've just said. This one, 211. It's been a long night. We've been recording for nearly 3.5 hours. Miracle Mile. The Night Eats the World. Office Uprising. Michael Inside finished high. That was the first episode.
That was in 8th.
The Babysitter, 7th. Handsome, a Netflix mystery movie, in 6th. And the top 5 for this season are
Big Boys.
The Man Who Killed Hitler and Then the Bigfoot, which was my wildcard film. The Endless, from episode 21. In 3rd was What Keeps You Alive. That was stayed in 2nd for so long. So long. Animal World finished in 2nd. That was Ross's wildcard. And Hush finishes at number 1. In the bottom of the stream, season 2 stream table.
Been there since episode 6.
Been there for 19 weeks and it never really showed any signs of getting beaten.
No.
Animal World took what Keeps You Alive from 2nd place, but it never really challenged Hush.
Yeah.
Nothing got close to Hush this season. Hush is a fantastic piece of film and deservedly stays in at number 1.
Congrats. Well done.
Well done, Mike Flanagan and your missus. I've forgotten her name. Katie Siegel.
Seagull, yeah.
That's it. Stream table's done. Bottom of the stream season 2's done.
Thank you to everyone who has downloaded, listened, streamed us. However you do it, we really appreciate it.
So proud of the fact that we've managed to do 2 seasons of this now. Nearly a full year. We've never missed a week. We've done more than a week's worth of episodes every week this year. We've done 53 or 4 episodes this year.
Yeah, counting a couple of extra
Counting
ones.
a couple of bonus ones.
And the Christmas special.
Thank
things
you,
like that.
everybody who's listened, helped, partaked, guested. It's just been a great year.
Yeah, it's been a really good experience. We did not expect half the amount of listens we've had.
Not at all.
And we've had a great time doing it, and we will continue to do so.
We've got Patreons. People pay to listen to this.
I know.
And we'd like more. Please come and Patreon us. We've watched 50 films now.
Just spread the word.
Just tell your friends, tell anybody what we're doing here. And we really enjoy it, and it's really good fun. And we're not going to stop because next week we've got the Botskas, and at the end of the Botska ceremony we will pick the first film for season 3, and we've also got a bonus episode coming that's going to run through that stream table.
Yep.
And we've got all sorts of shit coming, and then season 3 starts. And
Yep. It's going to be awesome.
we'll be a year old the first week of season 3, so we might do something to celebrate during that week as well.
I'll bring cake.
Oh, amazing. I like cake.
Good.
Thank you again. Thank you so much for listening, everybody. And we will be back next week with the Botskas, first annual Botskas ceremony.
Cheers.
Thanks. Bye.